the chat. All right, so I'm gonna start calling cases and get that in the order that I previously called them. The first case is Saldana, and we will need to go on the record.
Yes, go.
All right, and this is cause number 201633379B. And then no, I got it. Okay, and then Aaron Brown versus Cananero Brown, that matter is still on hold. Okay, so anyone in the Saldana matter that intends to testify, I need you to raise your right hand so that you can be sworn.
Can we get the Texas Attorney General Nicole Trombley to swear in? I'm going to use her as a witness.
Hold on just a moment. She is not a witness in this case. She is an attorney, and she represents the state of Texas.
Yes, ma'am. But she was in ex parte communication with y'all when y'all went into the breakout room, so I'd like to use her.
Mr. Saldana, now, we've been on this rodeo too many times.
Well, there's case law. You can either be a witness or an attorney, and Nicole Trombley said she's not attached to this case.
Mr. Saldana.
If she's not in the...
Mr. Saldana, now I said your name 5 times. I know you heard me. Put your hand down. We're starting the hearing. She is not going to be sworn as a witness because she's an attorney and she's representing the state. Okay, that is my ruling. Now, Mr. Saldana, if you would kindly identify yourself for the record, please.
My name is George Eric Saldana.
Thank you, sir. And any attorneys, Ms. Pena, would you please do the same thing?
Yes, Your Honor. My name is Kelly Joseph. I represent Carolyn Pena.
All right, thank you, sir. And Ms. Trombley, please.
Nicole Trombley for the Office of the Attorney General.
And Judge, I'm going to object to her being in this hearing.
Excuse me, Mr. Saldana. Again, when you get ready to speak, you need to raise your hand because we have a record. I need to acknowledge you. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, yes, ma'am.
I need you to swear in the witnesses, please.
Okay, now, would the witnesses please raise your right hand so that you can be sworn? Thank you. Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm and promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings?
Yes.
All right, perfect. And then where is Mr. Joseph?
I'm right here, Your Honor.
All right, I need you to identify yourself for the record. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. Kelly Joseph here appearing for Carolyn Pena.
All right, thank you, sir. And Ms. Trombley?
Yes, Judge Nicole Trombley for the Office of the Attorney General.
Okay, so what is set this morning is entry of an order. Is that correct?
No, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes,
wait,
Your Honor.
hold on just a moment, please. Mr. Joseph, what is set this morning?
Entry, the first amended order on the writ granting return of the child and granting attorney's fees in cause number.
Hold on just a moment, please. So is this the A case, the B case, or the C case?
This would be the B case. Judge,
believe-
you've already
we believe
signed
it's-
an order on this.
Excuse me again, Mr. Saldana. Now understand, I'm sitting here pulling the file up. And if you need to be acknowledged, you need to raise your hand, but I cannot screen and look up the file at the same time. Okay? So I'm gonna ask you to be mindful of what we're trying to do and just you're gonna have to be patient although mine is almost running out. Okay, so all right, so on February 18th, per the notes that were made, it was VWAP docket, C. Pena appeared in person as your attorney G. Saldana appeared in person, OAG appeared. G. Saldana invited to breakout room, invitation refused, no testimony taken. Counsel for C. Pena to a submit order appropriate case. This case has main cause A and main cause B. Entry of proposed order 3/4/2022 at 9. And so when we were here last, Mr. Joseph, you had submitted the order, but you submitted it under the wrong subcase number, right? And so we now have the order. And so, Mr. Saldana, have you had an opportunity to review the first amended order on writ granting return of child and granting attorney's fees?
No, ma'am. The last time I was here, I was
First,
pushed out of the
Saldana
Zoom.
got the order and said, I do not agree.
Judge, can I speak?
Which-
I mean, I think you were addressing me.
Okay, wait, Mr. Joseph. So.
Yes, Your Honor.
Instructed Mr. Saldana to raise his hand before he is acknowledged, and I guess I'm gonna have to ask you to do the same thing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Keep it record, okay. So, Mr. Saldana, my question to you was, did you receive a copy of the proposed order that I just referenced? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. I haven't had time to look at it.
So, is there anything about the order that is inconsistent with my ruling?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you tell me specifically what about the order is inconsistent with my ruling?
Judge, you signed an order on this already, 9/29/2021. If it was going to be amended, it should have been amended months ago. This was September 29th of 2021, order for attorney fees for a writ of habeas corpus. It sounds like Kelly Joseph's trying to get a second bite of the apple by increasing his fees up to 100%. Again, I was here on the 18th. This was for a DWOP, and now we're on an entry. On the 18th, y'all wanted me to go to a breakout room where there was ex parte communication, and y'all removed me from the court. So I don't know what y'all been talking about in those breakout rooms without me being there. That was one of the reasons why I asked Nicole Trombley to be a witness, because she was in that breakout room and she wasn't part of the case.
Mr. Saldana.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now I read you what happened, because I made a docket entry at or near probably that same date which is what I usually do. Okay, so that's the docket entry. There was no ex parte communication. There was no testimony taken. Basically, we're just trying to get our housekeeping matters taken care of.
But I should be in there. You keep removing me from Zoom.
You will raise your hand before, and I will acknowledge you by saying, okay, Mr. Saldana, you can speak now. But if I'm speaking, you need to zip. Okay.
The judge should be patient. That's a judicial canon, and you're yelling at me for asking questions.
I'm not going to argue with you on your damn platform. Okay, you need to stop. Now, that said, Ms. Trombley, do you have any issues with the proposed order as drafted?
Judge, I'm going to object to Ms. Trombley. She's not a part of this case. She said she wasn't a part of this case. Why is the state?
Donna, I did not acknowledge you, sir. Ms. Trombley, have you had an opportunity to review the order, and do you have any issues with it?
With regards to the order for the writ of habeas, my office does not need to sign or review the order. I was participated in the last hearing because I wasn't sure what exactly was set, and only to help the court understand that the order needed to be correctly filed under the correct cause in order to close out the post judgments and whatever. That's it.
All right, so that said, we're going to go ahead and thank you, Mr.
Well, Judge, I got
that order signed. Now, the other thing that was supposed to happen last time, sir, Mr. Saldana, I'm addressing you at this time, is you had filed a request for the issuance of a writ of habeas corpus for a child, correct? And I reviewed that order on January 4th, 2022, and you had a lot of extra baggage in it, and I corrected it, and I denied that petition for writ, okay? And then I'm gonna remind you, Mr. Saldana, that there is an outstanding protective order that the 280th court heard. And at that time, that order covers this child. In the meantime, in between time, there was an additional order issued based on the protective order, wherein you have possession and access, but you only have possession and access that is supervised, which means that you need to contact the Harris County Domestic Relations Office, and you need to sign up with them and make arrangements to start your periods of possession and access. Okay? Now, your response, Mr. Saldana, is what?
Judge, I mean, this is getting old. You specifically made 2 orders, one in January of 2021, knowing there was a protective order, saying you superseded that protective order. The second one was in June. Anybody watching here can go and look at those orders. Both of those orders say they supersede the protective order. You told me that I could see visitation. You are not allowing me to address the court or petition this court.
Okay, Mr. Saldana, again, there
You know you had ex parte communication with Ms. Trombley.
order. Ms. Trombley, yes, ma'am.
She works for the state of Texas, for the highest law enforcement officer in the state. I would hope that
Mr. Saldana, stop.
she reports you for.
Mr. Saldana, stop. Ms. Trombley, please.
I was just trying to get his attention to stop so that the court reporter can get down everything that's being said, because everybody's talking over everyone.
Okay.
So, but Judge, back to what I'm saying about I had 2 orders you signed, Kelly Joseph signed, that I could have visitation.
Morning. Is there anything properly on the docket this morning other than the 2 matters that I referenced? The one order was for entry of the correct order and the correct sub case number. The other order, when you were here last, you asked me to respond to, and I had to look at the file, and I had looked at it back in January. And so that is the order of this court with respect to your petition for writ. Okay? Now,
Judge, you didn't even let me have a hearing to discuss it.
Mr. Saldana.
I have 2 orders that superseded a protective order by you, signed by you and Kelly Joseph.
You don't have anything.
Are you telling me right now there are not 2 orders in this court that say that your order supersedes the 280th protective order? Are you telling me that? Are you telling everybody here that?
If you have a motion properly before the court today, which you do not, then you are not going to be heard.
I have several motions. You won't let me bring them to be heard. I have a motion to compel. I've had 3 enforcements filed. You won't give me a date.
You are excused.
You do it all the time.
Okay.
May we be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Goodbye. Have a good weekend.
You too. Yes, put it in the box, please.